Okay, hello everyone. Thank you, Luis. Thank you all for your session. It was so insightful. And I missed the first part, so I'm looking forward to watch the recording on YouTube. Thank you so much. Lisa, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, great. Let me know if you want me to start the next session or you want to say something.
Oh, yes. Thank you for closing out the session. Yes, with further ado, let's get on to the next session. I'm just going to put in the chat box a survey. If you participated in the previous sessions and you want a participation badge, go ahead and fill it out. And some more Teach the Future World Future Day continues. Thanks, Lourdes, and welcome St. Peter's School, Sandra and Noel.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Lisa. And good night. I think it's pretty late for you there. It's 1 a.m., right? I will take it from here, my dear. So, hello, everyone. For the new ones that are joining now, this is Lourdes Rodriguez from Teach the Future. We are in the World Future Day Young Voices. And for the ones that don't know Teach the Future, we are a global nonprofit trying to include future thinking in education. Remember that we are also on YouTube if you want to share the link on social media. And remember also that this session is hosted by Teach the Future, the Young Voices Network, and also in partnership with the Millennium Project. I will love to introduce Sandra because it's my dear colleague from the Hub in Spain, Sandra Martinez, and also Noel Ross. She's, for the ones that don't know Noel, she was the one that was boosting the movement of future thinking in her school. And now she's boosting this movement also in Spain. And for me, she's an inspiration and a role model because she is a teacher, but she herself started the movement, and now everyone in the school is involved, the students, all the teachers. So I will let them introduce themselves and their session, and I will put more information in the chat. So please, Sandra and Noel.
So hello, everybody. Welcome to the future from Barcelona city, from St. Peter's School. I'm here. I'm Sandra Martinez. I belong to Teach the Future Spain Hub. I live in Madrid, but I just travel to the train and meet the St. Peter's School because I will learn a little bit from myself, looking back to the past and moving to the future. To what is my activity with futures and foresight. So I'm here to present. I'm just going to present Noel. I'm going to say hi, and then you will meet the kids from St. Peter's in a minute. Okay, I'm going to share the screen. Is it okay? You can see it?
We don't see the presentation mode. We see the, yeah, now. Perfect.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm here with Noel. You can present yourself.
Okay. Hi, everybody. So my name is Noel Rosas, and I'm a teacher here at St. Peter's School. Right now, I'm teaching our middle years high school students, year 8 all the way to year 12. And today I'll share with you some of the activities and classroom experiences we've done in the classroom since we launched the Futures Literacy course here at St. Peter's.
See, this is actually the session title, Futures Literacy in K12 Education. So from really 5 years old up to diploma, which is bachillerato in Spain. So previous to go to university. So this is the proposed agenda for today. We're going to do the intros. You're going to meet the kids. And then I will sure explain what do we do in Teach the Future in Spain and where are the projects, and especially talking about St. Peter's project in schools. A little bit about myself, then St. Peter's Futures Literacy K12 history from the past, present, and looking into the future. It will be Noel. Then we have two young futurists, Noel and Christophe. They will be talking about their preferred futures project, which is Futures of Human Rights, #31. They will explain what it is. And then we will have a future talk with your 8 students. and they are with me right now. So maybe you want to say a little bit of yourself. Say hi.
Hello.
You can say your names.
Hello, my name is Elena. I'm 13 years old and I'm from Russia. My name is Bea. I'm 13 and I'm from Italy. Hi, I'm Julia. I don't think that they see me. Wait. Hi, I'm Julia and I'm 13 and I'm from Spain. And hi, I'm Daria. I'm French. I'm 13.
Cool. We're here in a chemistry and physics lab. So actually, you can see this is real time. So actually, we're having this session from St. Peter's School. So that's why our camera is not is from the PC. So that's real life. That's present. So look back to look forward. I'm going to talk a little bit about my role in Teach the Future. So I joined back in April 22nd. Teach the Future Hub Spain, which was liderated by Lourdes, Pilar, and Paola. So right now we are Pilar, Lourdes, and myself, with the goal of promoting futures and foresight in schools around Spain. Okay, so currently we're working with St. Peter's because they have a great project here. And back in 2023, we came with Peter Bishop, the founder of Teach the Future, to provide a workshop to St. Peter's. We spent an evening with all the teachers, and we found out that the school already was in the future. So it was a surprise that, okay, they did so many things about futures and foresight without knowing it. But then when it came back last year, I was learning how to be a teacher. Okay, so I spent 3 months in school and helping them in business class, in exponential technologies class. So I found out that they're really they're using the future in all the teachers in their classrooms with the kids. What happened next? That St. Peter's decided to promote futures literacy as a course, as an official course, which is in Spain. This is so difficult because you have to, go to skip a lot of regulations. But St. Peter's is kind of disruptive school, and they could do it. So here we are. The first year that futures literacy course has been taken by year 8 and year 9 school. Students. So my role now, I'm also futures and foresight specialist. I'm working for a company which is called BASF, and we do chemistry. So we are involved in some mega trends that involve all of us, because it's about being sustainable while creating chemistry and plastics and so many things and batteries. And we want to be sustainable for year 2050. So actually that's long term. And right now I pass by to my colleague, Noelle. She's going to explain you what's been going on.
Okay, hello everyone. So I won't talk long because I really want you guys to get to know the students better, and they'll speak from their own perspective. But as a teacher, we have been doing futures thinking, foresight activities in St. Peter's the past 2 years, but this school year was the first time that we launched it as a full fledged course. And the course is available to our year 8 and year 9 students, so ages 13, 14 to 15 roughly. But our strategy for launching this course, I would say it's 3-pronged strategy. So we're using futures as a resource for both learning and teaching. First is futures as a concept, process, and then a capability. So I'll explain each one of them and what it means. And how do we switch to the next one?
I think it's
okay. Perfect. So from a pedagogical approach, we had to design the course so that it is aligned with our curriculum. So we used the International Baccalaureate Middle Years program. So we would say it's yes.
Sorry, I don't know if, because it's not in the presentation mode, I don't know if you are like going to different slides.
Okay, let's see, just give me a second. Is it better now?
Now
yeah.
we are seeing it, yeah.
Perfect. So this particular slide is a multi-pedagogical approach that we're using in our classroom. So I would say it's probably an 80-20 rule, that 20% of the classroom time is based on teach the tests type of learning where students get to understand different key terms, different terminologies about the future, and 80% of the time is more concept-based or project-based learning. And I'll give you guys an example of what that means, okay? In terms of futures as a concept, because we are part of MYP, we're always exploring the concept of orientation in space and time, and our related concept is futures as the big idea for all our classroom activities, okay? So what does that mean? In terms of content, students are starting to learn slowly different Foresight tools, and they use these tools when they're starting to analyze their work. So they're writing an essay, instead of just saying pros and cons, perhaps they're using STEEP analysis in order to create a framework in order to explore the critical thinking. But here are some examples of the tools that they have learned. Some of them is still to come in the coming months. And here are a few examples of the work they've done. So we've done an escape room life on Mars. This was Bea's project, and the tools they've used when creating this experience was the STEEPLE and signals of change, for instance. And we had a lot of fun doing this, and kids even gave out prizes. Here's another one where we do trend analysis and mapping. Somebody decided to do a startup pitch using futures concepts. And at the very end of the year, all the students will actually have their own website where they're going to document all the activities they've done throughout the year so that their parents, other teachers can see the different types of future projects that they've done for the year. Okay, so that's how we're kind of using it now as a process after the concept. Okay, but at the very end, why are we doing this, right? It's to be able to offer our students a differentiated learning experience, but more importantly is to offer them the skill of being prepared to navigate the future, capitalize on opportunities, understand risk, and that's really futures literacy. So overall, that's the design of the program, is being able to use futures as a tool in terms of concept, process, and then capability. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass it back to Sandra, and our students will start presenting some of the experiences they've had in the classroom so far.
Thank you, Noel. I'm just going to see if I can go back. I'm still sharing, okay? Okay, so we're going to go now. This is the next block, which is Futures of Human Rights. So I will switch to Noah and Crystal. They're year 9 students, so 14 years old. They will present themselves. And it's all about them to explain the project.
Hello, my name is Krzysztof Wasilowski. I'm 14 years old. I'm Polish and I go to year 9.
And I'm Noah Chan. I'm Chinese, as I'm also 14, and I'm in the same class as Krzysztof Wasilowski here.
So for us, futures literacy is to visualize different scenarios that are possible to appear in the near and far future by analyzing different fads that come and go and ever-evolving trends. This year, we even combined futures literacy with global perspectives, creating a fusion of futures literacy and global perspectives when analyzing the past, present, and future, which is the most important part, of human rights. So first, my buddy here is going to explain about human rights.
So I'll give a quick brief about what human rights are. They were made in 1948, following the horrors of World War II. And they were made by Eleanor Roosevelt, which is the wife of former US President Theodore Roosevelt. And it was approved by the UN General Assembly in 1948. And in total, there were 30 human rights. And every human, no matter the race, gender, age, or background, inherits these rights. And now I will talk a little bit about future literacy, and we talked about the future of human rights. So digital privacy is part of the right to own property, as right number 17 in the 30 human rights that I just talked about. and it should not be a separate right since it's already the right to own property. And human rights could be at risk since slowly the world starts having totalitarianism rulers, such as in Myanmar, in Asia, and Burkina Faso in Africa, where more rights are abused more than ever, and human rights abuses will never be eliminated because of human nature, but it is more than possible to make the world respect them. And a lot of the world has started implementing these human rights, and currently most of Europe has these human rights.
You might be wondering what is the part of #31. So this year, we were also assigned to find and develop a 31st human right. Now, there's a lot of talk going on about creating a human right that is concerning digital privacy and that everybody should have the right to own digital privacy. But like my friend said over here, that technically that could already be implemented under human right number 70, the right to own property, since technically your data is your property. So instead, we decided to come up with a human right, which is the right to freedom from propaganda, misinformation, and lies from the authorities. This includes also AI deepfakes. So the point of it is to stop, for example, people not having access to the truth, and instead being exposed to anything that is fake and generally lies. And also, so this, for example, could have been seen, for example, in Poland, for example, when even a year ago, when the television was strictly controlled and the political party would, for example, spread its propagandic views. This could also is currently seen in Hungary and many other totalitarian nations such as Russia and many in countries in the African Sahel. AI deepfakes are also slowly being developed. For example, lately on the news, it has been that there has been AI generation of a picture generated by AI about a celebrity. And this is constantly increasing. And we believe that there should be a human right that will protect people from these deep fakes, misinformation, and propaganda. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. It's just we are in the same with the computer, sorry. Thank you very much, Noel and Christoph. We will have some questions regarding your topic. I think it's so important and so up to in the news, no? So in the headlines, no? It's not futures headline, it's present headlines. Human rights are not only going on what problems that you talked about, but also regarding AI, no? So the futures of human rights with AI. But thank you very much. I think it's a wonderful topic, futures topic, and thank you for sharing. Now we're going to continue, okay, with our futures talk. So right now, let me see if you see ourselves here. Can you see the girls?
No, I don't think we can see us.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
And then Daria. No, okay, now it's good.
Now, okay, so you can present yourself now. So I'm just talking. I just want the girls to be in the video.
All right, hello. So today we're going to tell you about the project we're doing currently, and we're going to explain some tools that we learned, and we're going to answer a few questions.
Yeah, but say your name. So you are Daria?
I'm Julia. I'm Elena.
And I'm Beth. Okay, thank you. So we're going to start this futures talk. We're going to spend some minutes and then we will do a Q&A if someone in the audience wants to make questions, to the girls. Okay, so the first question. Actually, in every Foresight process and framework, we start, a little bit with discovering what is future, what is present, what is history, and the first phase or second phase is about exploring change and what's going on, not only as part of our day-to-day life, but we go further away, no? So we convert ourselves into explorers, no? And we look for different things like signals of change, trends, drivers, patterns, so on. So I think, Rose, you have been studying signals of change, you understand what they are. So maybe as part of your project here during the Futures course, could you share one trend that so far you're studying or you feel like it's very interesting or curious or disruptive? So maybe, Daria, you can start.
So sustainability is a mega trend that is impacting the world, like all around the world. That's very important to us because it relates with climate change. And I don't know much about it, but I'd like to learn how it will evolve in the future and how it will be, and if it will be better or worse, and just see, like, using signals of change, try to predict maybe how it will be.
Julia?
Okay, so I think a trend that makes me a bit curious to see what it will evolve to in the future is a macro trend that was explained to us in that it's when social media creates this sort of university to learn how to make more social content for creators on social media. And I think that that's interesting because if a lot of people start doing this thing, if it grows, maybe other educations will decrease and some will increase, and I want to see how that affects education in the future. A signal of change for this, and I saw the other week or the other day would be an ad I saw scrolling through social media. So, yeah.
Well, for me, the trend that I'm most curious about is the trend that affects us a lot, and it probably affects us the most, which is social media. At one point, it can give us more knowledge on things, but it also has some negative aspects. For example, it makes us obsessed and all those kind of things. In the future, and it's a really important aspect of the future of our lives, because probably in the future, most of the jobs are going to be somehow associated with social media. And the thing I'm most curious about is how can we use social media to make it more money.
Yeah, so a trend that I'm curious about is music streaming, as I wonder if in the future there will even be live music, or everyone will just start using streaming platforms like Apple Music or Spotify or whatever you use. And some questions I have about this topic is maybe considering that streaming platforms barely pay artists, will there be like less singers and musicians? And also, as everything becomes automated, will we even need singers and musicians, or will AI do it for us?
So as you see, out of the trends, also the students have time to think about it, critically and analyzing, and actually you're giving us, some questions we should respond, so those are key topics that we should be addressing, sustainability. For example, the company where I work, we do chemistry plastics, so we're looking for not only the future should be was expected in Europe as to be starting 2030. Now it's starting in 2050. So actually, Europe regulation against sustainability is delayed. So you can see change in regulation is while technology is accelerating in the steep level, and we'll see, but regulations is slowing down. So this is systems complicated. Okay, we're going to go to the second question, and it's about Foresight and futures tools. So the audience, if you are Foresightists and futurists, Foresight is about a process. It's academic. We validate the tools and the frameworks that we use. So the students are also learning this part, which is very important. So about futures tools, so far, I want you to tell me and share which tools you've been studying and practicing in dynamics so far, and which one is your favorite tool, or the one that you think is more useful for your projects? So you can start, Daria, for example.
So we use many tools over the time. For example, we use the futures code, STEEPLE, SWOT, and many other techniques. And I think my favorite is the futures code because it's quite simple. There are 3 futures, and we can analyze it as in which one we want to. So the preferred futures help us self-reflect on what we want and our wishes and desires. And it's very helpful to reflect on your goals, actually. The probable future, you analyze it with signals of change, and it can help you predict what will happen, and it can help you prepare yourself. And the final one is the alternative future, which is a wild card, and it can help you be more open-minded and flexible because really anything could happen at any moment.
Okay, who's next? Who wants to share the preferred?
I can say, well, I like many tools, for example, like STEEPLE and Artifact from the Future, but my favorite one and the one I'm most curious about is an Artifact from the Future, as we haven't done it in school yet, but Miss Mel started explaining it to us. It's Artifact from the Future is technically, you think about, we're given a thing, for example, like futuristic city, and then we make it ourselves as a souvenir that we bring back from future.
Okay, I'll go. I think that I also like a lot of tools like the ones that they mentioned, and I'm curious to see what the Artifact of the Future tool will hold. But I think that one of the tools that I like and I enjoy using the most is SWOT, SWOT, which stands for Strengths, Weaknesses, Opportunities, and Threats. And I think that it's a very good tool to see the bright side and the downsides to different things that you're researching, and it helps a lot if you can't find them and you're trying to do that research on it. And we've done it a few times in class, and I think it's very interesting and helpful. And yeah.
Super cool. So you can see that these students are following the frameworks and studying the very important tools, which is STEEPLE. So not many people in the present as adults know these tools, to tell you the truth, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry.
STEEPLE. Yeah, so I like to use the STEEP or STEEPLE framework because it gives us the opportunity to really analyze a scenario in more than one point of view instead of limiting ourselves to only think about it in one field. And I often use it, as I said, when I need to analyze scenarios in class. And for example, in Futures Literacy with Julia, we analyzed how AI will affect education in 20 years' time. And we actually came up with a bunch of ideas of what could happen instead of just thinking about it in the most obvious field, which is the technology. And we were able to think about many, many different ways that it could affect us.
Cool, thank you. Bea, sorry about it. So yeah, I was going to say, like, when you practice a lot STEEPLE, you probably think about STEEPLE. So every, ideas is like STEEPLE. So that's when you adopt the habit, no? So it's cool, you know? So we're learning critical thinking here, and that's super cool. So now, in the fun part, no? My favorite futures topic. So we can start maybe like the futures, not like a general or very like a strong, large magnitude, like futures of whatever, no? Like futures of metaverse. Right now I'm working in futures of metaverse. I'm working in futures of AI. So really deep topics that affect all humans, no? And planet, countries, economies. Or maybe you could go and choose a specific topic, very small one, but you have to make decisions that is blocking your, you don't know what to do, what's your next step. So I want you to if you could please share with us a future topic that you've already think about, imagine, and you want to dig in because it's very curious. So you feel curious about it, so you can share with us. Who's starting, Daria or Bea? Now you should go with Bea.
So I'm gonna talk more about my favorite project rather than my favorite topic. And it's a preferred future vision board that we've done. that I had here. And I really liked it because it really allowed me to reflect about what I want the world to look like using the STEEP analysis. So we have like all the different fields in STEEP. And I actually had a lot of fun because not only did I add maybe some of the more obvious stuff like environmental, I put less global warming and things like that, but I also really had to like dig deep and really think about what I want for things like economy and politics, which we don't really talk about. And I was actually surprised that I had very clear ideas of what I did want and what I didn't want. And before I didn't really know about many of the things that I included. So it was really nice to also learn more.
For me, I enjoyed a lot of projects that we made because I found them all really entertaining and really futuristic, which I really like. But one of my favorite ones was the one where we made a video about probable future. We were learning the tool, the K12, and we made a video about probable future, and I love fashion. So I decided to research more about fashion, and we made like kind of video where we described all possible outputs of fashion. For example, in the future, we might not put clothes like we do every single day, but we might actually spray it on ourselves, as we've already done in 2021 on Bella Hadid. There was a really famous fashion show. And also I really enjoyed the project that Bea talked about. Okay. So I'm also going to talk about a project. In the project that we did, I'm also going to talk about the project that Bea was talking about. It's related to the future cones that Daria talked about and the preferred future. I really enjoyed that project because it really helped me see the goals that I was looking forward to or the things that I wasn't looking forward to, and put a mindset on what I want the future to be like. And well, I do actually have it here too. I think it was a really fun project to do.
And well, my favorite project was actually a project where we could choose a topic and research about it. And we were around Christmas at that time, so I chose the future of Christmas to see how it would be in the future. And we found many interesting things about it. For example, Christmas songs like preferences would be more techno and not pop like we have right now. For example, we could also have holograms that advance in technology for people that are far around the world and they could not be with us at that time. And also personal traditions that change. For example, instead of red and green, we'd be wearing other colors such as lavender. And I thought this topic was very interesting because it made us think, because we're used to Christmas, like you guys have a Christmas that's always the same, but we don't know what it will be like in the future, and it made me really think, and I'm really curious about it.
Thank you, Elsa, and especially, about the features of Christmas, which is a tradition. Also, we expect that every year we do the same. Nice. You find out that it's evolving, and actually we can spend and share different Christmas in the future. What will happen? So now we're gonna go to the thinking part. Yeah. Do you want? Maybe we will have a Q&A space. Okay. So Noel told me that there's some questions, so we're gonna finish the questions here, the debate, the future stock, and then we will address your Q&A. Okay. So thank you. So the next thing, about thinking about futures thinking. So there are different emotions, that the future brings to us once we start learning. Maybe the first one is like, okay, I don't want to know anything, so fear. But once you know the theme or the futures, for me, it gives me lessons. I feel like I have more hope. It gives me like tranquility, quiet, and a lot of space to do things, renew myself, and be confident that we can do all together a lot of things as humans, So also maybe with AI, but as humans right now. So throughout this month, we've been, working and doing activities with the future. So far, futures thinking, how did it affect it to you? Like, have you changed already? What are your thoughts? What are your emotions? Do you feel different? Could you share a little bit of some emotions or things that you feel that you're already changing?
So I think that studying futures literacy made me a lot more curious about the future, because before I didn't really think about it. And it also made me realize how everything that I do today will affect my future, which is also what futures literacy means to me. It's like understanding that there's more than one future, and also that all the actions that we take will have repercussions on our futures. And I think it also improved my imagination, as I had to think about my preferred future, and also my problem solving skills, as we've looked at different scenarios like Shanghai, sponge cities with coastal flooding, and we've had to figure out ways that we could solve that problem or reduce its impacts. And I also think that it helped with like self-reflection, especially with the preferred future board, vision board. I looked at many images and I added them to, Canvas, and it made me realize that if I want these things to happen, we're gonna have to act and like fight. And for example, like environment, I put less global warming and better environment and more animals and wildlife and everything. And so that made me think, so what can I do today to help me reach that goal? Well, to help the whole society to reach that goal eventually.
So for me, future literacies at the start, I didn't really think much of it, but now I think it actually plays a crucial role in my life, as it makes us brainstorm about our own future and about future of our planet and about our future technologies. It also makes us reflect on our lifestyle and things we do. This subject generally changed my thought on some things. Before I thought that probably this is the end, but now as we research more, I can see that we'll develop slowly and we'll learn some more new things. The subject boosted a lot of our skills. For example, for me, it made me more researcher because we do various of projects, and it also boosted my collaboration skills as we work a lot in teams, and communication skills as we do debates and all that kind of things.
Cool.
Okay, so I'm actually gonna say what futures literacies is to me before I answer the question. To me, futures literacies is a skill, and because when we reflect on the future scenarios, we think more about our decisions in the present and how that will affect our future. So that's why futures literacies made me more aware of my choices and made me curious to see what's in the future, but it also made me think that I have to do something for that thing that I want to happen in the future to actually happen. And one last thing that it made me think of is that all of my decisions and my choices affect the future and my future or other people's futures. So I have to care about what I'm doing in the present to care about what I will do in the future. And of course, it also made me curious to see what's in the future, because if something like an alternative future or a wild card can happen, like for instance, coronavirus, it's possible that something like that will happen in the future. So I'm curious to see what's next.
What about you, Valerie?
Well, for me, I think futures literacy is trying to anticipate the future and to act on it now to make a better world now instead of waiting many years. Just act on it now. And I like future literacies because it makes me reflect on my lifestyle and life choices and how I can act now and not later. And I think it's very important for everyone. It's a very important subject, and that many people should learn it because we learn many important things, many important life lessons also. And I'm also very curious to see how the future is in the later, because who knows what's waiting for us.
So I see that these young voices are so well prepared, so I'm more confident about young voices for sure. Okay, so the last question is like, okay, Hope for the future. It's like you've started, actually this was this future Young Voices. We started last year, or I joined last year, and we had like 4 people in the session. Now we are more like 5 times the people, you know, so we're almost 30. So this is becoming viral. So more and more people are getting into the future. So it's a topic of the present. So I want it to be viral. This school is pioneer on bringing, you know, futures literacy course into the official studies of high school in Spain. So I know this is a difficult question maybe for me, but with small actions, you know, how do you think we can promote futures thinking more, maybe in your class, students, schools, city, country, and the world? I don't know. You can choose, but you know, maybe we can do more, you know, a little bit. So you've learned how to do. Any ideas, disruptive?
So I have a few ideas, maybe. The first one is that we could organize a few classes for other schools. It's like a few classes to learn about basics of futures literacies, for them to know a little bit about it. But it would be hard to organize. And another idea I've had is to take advantage of social media to post about futures literacies, because many people use social media and it could be interesting to do it this way.
Any more ideas?
Okay, so I think that's something we could do to make futures thinking helpful for humans and the planet is possibly try to reflect on things that we can use in the future, or in the present, so that the future is affected, and that will help humanity, and then try to present it to people who could use it to make a difference in the future. And or one of the ways we can do that is to present it on social media, like Daria said. Another thing we could do is not to hope or dream about the future, but do things in the present to we can achieve the future.
That's interesting.
Well, I have one idea. It isn't really long, but and I think we can do it for the whole planet. As with future, we might predict some things that can affect our environment in a positive way. As now our environment has too much of CO2 and a lot of problems. Maybe we can predict and make a new technology that can somehow develop, and we can make our environment better. And it will affect everyone, as right now we can see that our environment is becoming worse and worse.
Yeah, so an idea I had to try and make futures literacy more interesting, so that other students want to learn about it, is maybe talking about the future of global issues that affect all of us, like climate change, globalization, which we actually talked about, wars, and so forth, to educate people and also like make them more interested. And also, as Daria and Julia said, I think that sharing our knowledge on social media would be a great way to get more people to learn about futures literacy, as many teenagers nowadays get their news from social media.
Cool. I would say also I take notes of all your ideas to spread out. I get to my company, like to another technology, so we can be more circular and sustainable. So this is for now, but I think Noah told me there are a little bit of some questions here in the chat. Maybe you can, or Lourdes or the coordinator, help me.
Yeah, we're basically comments, and like we are amazed that these students are already learning about something that we needed to wait until we are adults to learn. So it's so useful for you to already know all of this, so you can start thinking about it already. And Darwin is saying, what will be your first post in TikTok if you want to talk about futures thinking?
TikTok.
I think it could definitely be something like we've talked about different topics, we talked about maybe globalization and also about like preferred futures. I think maybe with globalization, we talked about cultural penetration. So the fact that cities are starting to look very similar to each other because of multinational companies. And maybe, you know, to really call teenagers' attention, it could be something like talking about all the famous brands that they love. And we could also be saying like, oh, you know, all these famous brands that you know and love, well, they're actually taking away from the culture and the beauty of your city. So how do you feel about that? And maybe like spreading the knowledge about globalization and cultural penetration.
Mhm. And there is another comment here from Scott. These folks practically deserve a master's degree with the knowledge and experience they have. Well done.
Thank you.
Before continuing in the chat, Sandra, can I ask you to stop sharing screen so we can see you better? Perfect. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Danica, do students have these futures conversation outside of school? What are examples? What does this look like?
I think after we got the subject, future literacies, we actually started talking about future much more often, like even outside of school, as we like work when we have a group of friends and we talk with each other, discussing what future might be and working on different.
Even I think we started talking about it sometimes with people who are not so informed about it, so that they can start thinking about it as well. So I think that it did take a part of our social and free time as well.
Yeah, maybe like thinking about what we want our future to be like, and maybe what we can do today to help us with achieving our goals in the future. I think that's definitely a topic, especially with school. Like maybe we want to work really hard on this one subject because we hope to work in that field in the future.
Yeah.
Wow, this is, we have more questions in the chat, and this last comment is so important for students. Like I'm thinking about myself when I was in school, my colleagues when I was in school. We needed to know the application, why we are studying what we are learning in school. So thank you for this reflection. Question, what do you want us to know about the future of Christmas?
Well, anything can happen. Maybe it will stay the same. But based on the research and the signals of change, we will have some change in music, like Christmas music taste. We'll have changes in tradition. Technology will help us a lot, maybe with cooking, maybe with decorating, with holograms, as I said. The traditions might change also. Many things might change, and it's very interesting to see because we don't really know right now. We're still doing the same Christmas. It's a tradition for us to do Christmas over and over.
Maybe even the tradition of like putting up a Christmas tree, maybe that tree, that type of tree, it goes extinct and they have to use another one because of climate change, or they just continue using plastic ones, or
And maybe also finding more sustainable alternatives.
Yeah.
Like Christmas trees, like everything's made of plastic, the Christmas decorations that many people maybe buy and throw away. We could find like more sustainable ways definitely of doing it.
Yeah, maybe also all the snow will melt and like we'll have a really hot climate. So we'll have a new tradition of Santa Claus won't live in the North Pole, in the Sahara Desert. Yeah. And maybe he'll like wear new clothes. It's not that hot. Yeah.
Oh my God, this is great. I love it because we can think about many different things about the future. We have some more questions here from Scott. What is the hardest part in your all experiences of getting from present into the future proper? Like how to move from present into the future.
Yeah. What was the question again?
And Scott, if you want to open the mic and.
Okay, I think I understand.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. I was just like, how do you get from, because you know, sometimes people might criticize you, you're saying you're not talking about the future, you're talking about what's happening right now. So how do you like get there? How do you get to the future space, you know, in your thinking?
How you travel. It's how did you travel to the future?
Yeah, I think definitely the present obviously plays a really big part, like looking at signals of change and different trends. And I guess also maybe using our imagination and thinking maybe based on what we know now, in a realistic future, what could that be like? Like, for example, with AI, I think we all use ChatGPT a lot. We have robopsychology as a class here in St. Peter's, where we talk a lot about
where we learn how to use it properly.
Yeah, about AI. And so maybe knowing that we use AI so much, we can think in the future, oh, well, maybe AI will take over some jobs, but it's also going to create a bunch of new ones, like more robotics engineers or more like machine learning specialists and everything like that, because we're going to need better and better AI.
Yeah, and of course, some people will say that we're not talking about the future and we are talking about the present, but obviously the present is going to impact the future. So we have to talk about the present when we're talking about the future. And I think that sometimes thinking about the future might be like scary for others or
overwhelming, maybe.
Overwhelming because of thinking how hard it is to overcome some steps. But it's always interesting to think about that and think about how you'll achieve your goals. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's important to think about the unthinkable, and also some futures needs to sound ridiculous in the present. So it's not only what we know in the present, we should be even more open. It needs to be plausible, but it doesn't need to be probable, the futures we are imagining.
We have here new on Christoph that they've been working. So I'm just having a weird dystopic idea, like for example, like Christmas, no? Right now for us, at least in Spain, it's like a right. It's a human right. So we're all expecting for December 25th because it's a holiday, no? So what do you think is it just to interconnect two systems, like the features of Christmas with the features of human rights? I know it's kind of difficult, but do you think in the future, this kind of religious holidays, we have to take them for like human rights or rights?
No, because currently there's a rise of atheism, and it would not be a human right to religious holidays. It would be a right to give people holidays, for example, but it would not be to give religious holidays because many do not actually celebrate those holidays religiously.
I agree with him, since holidays is about culture, and if you basically what my buddy here, Christoph, just said, that
It's a freedom of faith. Like you can have the faith and the culture that you want. You can celebrate whatever you want. No, this is like the right we should all have. But yeah, I guess the holiday itself is not that. Any more questions? We have maybe 2 more minutes, or any more comments from the students. I am loving your reflections. Any more questions here?
From us, or
yeah, or also comments from you. We want to listen to you.
We think this is a really useful subject in our life. As we said earlier, it makes us just like learn things that we wouldn't learn in a normal school. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's definitely like a privilege.
It's like worth it. Yeah,
definitely a privilege that we get to learn all of this stuff now. So that maybe also in the future, university and everything like that, we already like learn about this, and it's gonna be a lot easier for us and very interesting.
It just increases our knowledge on what's going on around the world, and just going to go on around.
Some things we research about, some things that we would never research if we wouldn't have done this subject. For example, like about some ethics or like legal things,
politics.
Yeah, it makes us.
No. Please continue.
No.
Makes us like more curious. Maybe.
Wait, there was more questions.
Yeah. What was your initial reaction when you learned that you will need to learn futures?
At first, I
we had no idea.
At first, we went running around the school. And we're like, what's that subject? What is that about?
I think I actually tried to find Miss Noel for about like 10 minutes to ask her what it was. I didn't find her, but
you didn't know.
I had no idea what it was.
Yeah, I had no idea either. And like the first time I told my parents, like I'm gonna be doing this subject called Futures Diversity, they thought it was gonna be about like literature or something.
So
at first, I
I
thought that
think
it was
we
gonna
all
be
did.
about like writing stuff,
Yeah.
like about the future,
No,
like
because I said literacy and I was like,
Yeah.
something to do with English.
yeah.
Oh, no.
I thought we were gonna be connected to our English teacher too.
We were definitely caught off guard on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. We have 2 more questions and we will need to finish sadly, but what step can you take to share future thinking within your immediate sphere of influence? So you already mentioned social media. You are talking about your parents, and I think your parents are also your spheres of influence and are very important. So what do you think? How can you be like an influencer?
I think that just commenting on what you think the future is gonna be like is just it already makes an impact because you're commenting on what you think it will be like, and then they're gonna start thinking about it, and then it's just gonna move on around your sphere. And I think that already that is a big step. Also, like, we talk to our parents and our grandparents, and we tell them, and they're like surprised that we will learn this kind of thing in school because they never even heard of something.
Yeah, we can share what we learned with our family and like bring it up, so they can also learn.
Yeah.
Wow, this is great. There is a question here. How can we support St. Peter's School to keep up the amazing work? Like, kudos to the student and teachers together.
I don't know, maybe we can have more webinars.
Yes, I think this collaboration, there are many ideas here to collaborate with the schools in Singapore already. We have colleagues from Singapore that we would love to collaborate with their students there. So Noel, I will put you in contact. And last question is, so you already explained how can you influence, but how can you make people excited about the future?
We can make like some games about it. Like she made a escape room about futures, and we think it'd be really like little kids would be really interested in that as it's something they can interact with. Making futures more like interactive, that would make kids interested.
And also like maybe
No, you go.
Maybe like talking about as I mentioned before, the future of the global issues. People might be interested as it's like something very big that's happening, or like with teenagers, like I mentioned before, like, oh wow, all the big brands, like what they're like actually taking away from your country and your cities, and how that can affect you and your community. So maybe like finding things, looking at trends again, seeing what people are most interested in, and trying to make it about that.
I think also talking about like the preferred future for them, what it would be like. I think that can get them really excited on it, and then they would start reflecting on it, and that would also help them. You could also talk about what a preferred future for a person in social technology or anything that they find interesting is, to get them more excited on the topic.
Wow, these are all great ideas, and I saw everybody like taking notes. I'm taking notes myself. Thank you very much. Let's take a selfie, and a screenshot of all of you. I see Noel, I see Sandra there. If you want to invite more people, put your camera on, and let's take a picture. One moment. I want everybody to be here. Okay, Tomás, nice to see you. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lourdes.
Thank you, Noel.
The audience. So happy.
Muchas gracias, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care.
We will be in contact for sure. Noel and Sandra.
Take care.
Bye. Thank you. Wow.